After this was done, and the tribe began to prosper in a more favorable climate and a richer soil, where an abundance of corn was raised and game was plentiful, a new difficulty stared them in the face. A strange race of men crossed the great waters and landed warriors who began to attack the Cherokee tribe. The Cherokees called in all the clans and began to destroy the enemy, with the exception of a few prisoners who they saved. These prisoners were placed in canoes and sent back across the water which they had previously crossed. They were told to report back to their own country what great warriors the Cherokees were. The Cherokee tribe then became discouraged and completely demoralized, and said to the council of the clans that nothing could be done, as the great serpents, the Cherokee tribe then became discouraged and completely demoralized, and said to the council of the clans that nothing could be done, as the great serpents, the Ocoteen. The Cherokee tribe then became discouraged and completely demoralized, and said to the council of the clans that nothing could be done, as the great serpents, the Ocoteen, had become extinct, and there was no chance to obtain the terrible poison that had been so successfully used against the first invaders. So the wise men were consulted again, who ordered as before for the clans to hold a council, second war dance around the round or half-sphere temple. This notice was then made known to all the clans who gathered at the ancient site of the sacred round or half-sphere temple. The clans gathered. This notice was then made to all the clans who gathered at the ancient site of the sacred round or half-sphere temple. The clans gathered in, except one or two who refused to come, but who one sent for finally came in. Then the 7 days' dance commenced and completed, at the beginning of which 7 days' dance, the 7 wise men of the clans entered the temple, which for ages had been neglected and somewhat improved. The wise men, after entering, found that it could not be lit with light that emanated from the spiritual light or from the wise men. Seeking the cause of the failure of the temple to light up, each wise man requested enlightenment until the wisest of the wise answered and said, "Our temple, ancient and sacred, has been neglected. The original fire, the eternal and primitive, has been allowed to become extinct by destroying the wise Ookateen, the wise of the tribe. He can never be found again until the other clans be found and the tribe reunites. We can do nothing, only to employ a substitute to illuminate our temple, and which shall be the outer body of the eternal fire. When the substitute for light, the fire, was killed, the wise men looked upon nothing in them but images, as a brilliant light appeared in them originally." When the substitute for light, the fire, was killed, the wise men looked upon nothing in them but images, as a brilliant light appeared in them originally. One more time. When the substitute for light, the fire, was killed, the wise men looked upon nothing in them but images, as a brilliant light Last time. When the substitute for light, the fire, was killed, the wise men looked upon nothing in them but images, as a brilliant light appeared in them originally. The wisest of the wise men, when he made his exit out of the round temple and began to form his spiral evolution in the heavens, could ascend no higher than the regions of crude matter, and after descending and re-entering the temple, so reported to their own clans, to the subordinate wise men of the clans, that the race of deceit and cunning had adopted a new scheme to deceive the Cherokee or Red race. This new scheme was the writing of a strange teaching that the white invader claimed to have spoken from heaven, the truth or untruth of which the Red tribe had to find out for themselves. The race will, according to the oracle of the stone of truth, containing the image, be driven to the seashore, where they will cross the waters, landing in the old country from whence they came, will find the 5 lost clans become reunited into 12 clans, into one people again, will become a great nation known as the Isholoki of the half-sphere temple of light. And this concludes our story. Wado. And that's the reading of Cherokee Vision of Elohi. Adonado Gohai.